Once upon a time. This is ridiculous. This is not. Sis, how else are we going to start this? But it's so boring, Loki. You got a better idea, Puck? Well, no, but then just start it that way. Fine. As I was saying, once upon a time. Screw it. Here's the background. Puck in Arcadia. My keeper, the Scissorgist, the couple from hell, the artist and the muse, one that created and the one that inspired creation of all things, startling beautiful and unspeakably horrible. He was slight and unassuming. She was terrible in her absolute beauty. Both thought me a plaything, a toy, a tool to be played against the other. Sometimes they played nice, sometimes they played not so nice. Sometimes I was the toy fought over. They were true fae, and I was in Arcadia. My name is, well, that's not important now. What is, I am a changeling. I was their changeling, their property. I was shivvied to so many places. The Menagerie Dome, the City of Brass, the Mechanical Forest. Places that both wanted me to create this or that with those places as theme. When we returned to their domicile, impossible and endless creations. Intricate mechanical creations, large and small, wood instruments of complex carvings worked over the entire piece. Elaborate cloth molded into fantastical shapes. Writings to make the reader weep or laugh. Paintings that seemed to come to life, and sometimes did. And on and on. I met so many others. Some like me, some like them. Most were boring. Until I met another, like me, who was like a mirror to me. And he was fun. I only saw him, the other me, once, but he was not boring. Soon after, I hatched a plan to escape. A trick and a bit of mischief on the side. Of all things, it worked. But instead of the real world, I found the hedge. Lost in the hedge. Brambles and thorns surrounded me. I'm finally free of the psycho couple, but I'm not safe. Not safe by half. Running, getting scraped and cut, but I dare not stop. If I don't get out of this, they'll get me again. They must not get me again. They must not. I won't live through that again. Wanting and wanting until exhaustion had me crawling into a small hollow to catch some hours of sleep. When I woke, there was something different. Hours, I think? Before, I was so tired I didn't realize that my little hollow was actually a small tunnel under a hill. Someone or something was waking on the other side. Another changeling. He looked familiar. Then I remembered where I saw him. He must have remembered me too, in the same instant. Don't say my name, you said in unison. That happened that other time. I smiled and looked and saw an identical smile on his face. In perfect unison, our smiles changed into mischievous mocks, and then we giggled. The other was my partner in crime from that day of mischief. We were never caught, too. A blood-chilling howl pierced the air, seemed to come from everywhere at once. Without thought, I scrambled to the middle of the tunnel. He must have done the same because we crashed in the middle, knocking each other flat. Ow, that hurt! I yelled and heard my words in an echo from him. Shh! We shushed each other, eyes sparkling. We smiled again until the howling started up again. We stayed in that whale hollow, huddled together until we could hear no more noises. The twins. From that day on, we were inseparable. You never saw one without the other. When we finally made our way out of the hedge, we cemented our newfound siblinghood with our first pledge outside of Arcadia. Blood for blood, he and I bonded as family. It was us against the world. We had each other's back, always and forever. When we made the pledge, we each told our true names. But for everyone else, we are Loki and Puck, or the twins for short. We lived and thrived. I joined the spring court and Loki joined the winter court. But other than that very short time for court activities, we were never separated. Eventually, when we learned everything that was to know about our new world, we left the blowing courts and stuck out on our own. At first, we didn't do that well. We kept getting run out of the villages that we went into in our travels. Mostly because, well, yeah, see, my brother and I both have a penchant for making mischief, and eventually we get caught. And we always get caught mostly because we do bigger and bigger things until caught. It was because we did something really big and usually had to make a run for it. Life was fun, but we never were able to settle down because one or both of us or one talking the other into some mischief that always got bigger and bigger until we got caught again. This went on until we found Pops. Well, he kind of found us. Well, find is kind of a masking word that what he did was save us. Here's how it happened. We had been traveling from village to village, steadily traveling east. When we got caught, we changed our man and moved on. When we got to Cambridge, we decided to have Mariana children. Both of us were no taller than 3'5", so it was not hard. We looked like innocent twins about the age of 4 or 5. Red curly hair, chubby cheeks, and large green eyes. We went unnoticed for several weeks, but when we got the itch again... The itch that said, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. It started out with buckets of water suddenly dousing people, or just the wrong time, or herds of animals finding their way to the middle of town. Because Cambridge is so big, we still went fairly unnoticed, which I think kind of galled us. So we started to do bigger and more strategic and embarrassing things to specific people. During that time, we sometimes saw this old guy looking at us when everyone else was looking at the thing we did. Like that time that the city council had this big to-do in town square. Loki had found a joke and we decided to sprinkle it on them from the roof during the to-do. It was so fun how they squirmed and finally just scratched like crazy. We were on the roof of the pavilion and laughing our heads off when I noticed the old guy. He was not talking with the other townspeople or pointing. He was staring right at me. Loki, Is that guy looking at us? He can't be. Well, he is. That's weird. There, he's looking away and it's talking now. He didn't see us. At first, we rolled it off as a fluke, but when it happened again, when we snuck frogs into the public bath, and again the time that we tied the clothesline together for the largest laundress in the city, the guy never said anything, even when he saw us preparing the stunt before. So we just ignored him. We eventually met him on that fateful day, the day that we would have been kicked out of town if he hadn't rescued us. Sort of. This tale will continue at a later date. Until next time, my lovelies.